Last lesson we spoke about cumulative frequency to find the mean. Now let's look at graphing cumulative frequency. So let's look at this example. A delivery company did a survey to find out more about the parcels they were delivering to. Complete the table of cumulative frequencies and plot the points. Well, if you remember from the last video, all we're going to do is we're going to add up the frequencies as we go along. So here's how we do it. The first thing we need to do is for the cumulative frequency, this is just going to be 4, nothing more to it. Now we add the next frequency as we go. So 4 plus 6 is 10, right? 10 plus 58 is 68. 68 plus 28 is 96. And then 96 plus 4 is 100. Okay, so we can say that they surveyed 100 parcels. Now let's plot that into our diagram. What we're going to do is we're going to write down 4 in our cumulative frequency on the y-axis, because the y-axis represents cumulative frequency, but on the x-axis we need to finish it at 0.1. Okay, so this is what it would look like. That is our 4, because the maximum mass at this point is 0.1. The next point, what we're going to do is we're going to go to 10, and the max range here is 0.2. So this is the next point. It's going to be at 10, at 0.2, 10 on our graph. And the next point, the cumulative frequency is 68, and the max range is 0.5. 0.5 is here, and 68 is here. So therefore, that is where our next point is. Next point is going to be at 96 at 0.8. So it's going to be around here. And then finally at 100, it's going to be there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw them out as best as we can. I am using a mouse and keyboard. You will be using a pencil. And it should be this S shape here. And that is how we plot a cumulative frequency graph. Do you like the video so far? Make sure you subscribe, as it only encourages me to give you guys better explanations. Now let's go over this example. For this example, we're using a cumulative frequency graph that's already been drawn. First thing we need to note is we need to derive each of the frequencies between these ranges. So, from the last example, we know that we finished at 120. So let's go to the 120. It's about here. And we can see that this is at about 7, okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to 140, which is here. And we can see that the cumulative frequency is 20, which means that this point here to here is just going to be 20 minus 7, which is equal to 13, okay? If you want to, you can just write down the cumulative frequency here, and then you can find the difference between each one. That also works. If you don't understand what I mean by this, let's do this in the next example. So in the next example, let's go to 160. At 160, we can see that the cumulative frequency is 39. It's 39, it's just I can't draw a straight line on my mouse because I just can't. So now this frequency here, that's just going to be 39 minus 20, which is 19. Okay? Let's go over the next example, which is 180. 180 is here. And we can see 180 goes at 55. So 55 minus 39, that's just going to be 16. And finally, we can see that at 200, we can see that the cumulative frequency is 60. So therefore, this has to only be 5 people. Okay? Now, this is all to work out the frequencies. What if we were to estimate how many people are shorter than 150 and taller than 170? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of these just for now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to 150, which is here. And we can see that the cumulative frequency at 150 is 28. So we can safely say that 28 people are shorter than 150 centimeters, okay? And it's the same thing for if we're asked to work out taller than 170. Let's go to 170. We can see that the cumulative frequency is, I'm going to say that it's 49. Okay? So we can see that everything above here is taller. Okay? So how many people are taller if there's 60 people in total? Well, all we're going to do is just measure this height here. And that's just going to be 11 people. Now we need to estimate the median. To estimate the median, we know that the middle number is going to be 60 divided by 2, which is 30. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to find the 30th number, which is here at 30. And we can see that that drops down to around 152 centimeters. And that is our final answer. Do you need more help with this topic? Join my Discord server and send me your questions for fast responses guaranteed. Now let's look at the last example of the day. By looking at this graph, estimate how many people are in this survey are shorter than 130 and taller than 160. This is for another height-oriented survey. So how many people are there in total? Well, we can see that the highest point is at 80, so there has to be 80 people, doesn't it? Because this is the highest point. How many people are shorter than 130? Let's go to 130, which is here. And we can see that the amount of people at 130 is 16. So therefore, all of these people here have to be shorter than 130. So the answer is 16. If they're taller, we do it in reverse. So we go to 160, same thing, right? We go to 160 and we find that it's equal to 66, the cumulative frequency. To work out how many people are taller, however, it's going to occupy this space here because it's everything more, okay? They are taller. And that's just going to be 80 minus 66, which is equal to 14. So now we're asked, write down the height that 25 people are shorter than. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we need to do what we've done before, but in reverse. This time we're told the cumulative frequency is 25. And so what is the height at 25? The height at 25 is 136 centimeters. Sorry, let me write that again. 136. Now, here are some new terms which you probably haven't heard of before. I'm going to rub this out because this will take quite a bit of space on our graph, and I don't want to confuse you guys. Find the median, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, and interquartile range. So let's first look for the median. The middle number is just going to be 80 divided by 2, which is 40. Okay, so let's go to cumulative frequency 40. And we can see that the median height is 144 centimeters. What about the lower and the upper quartile? Okay, well, first I need to ask you quite an obvious question. What does quartile sound like? Exactly, quarter. So to work out the lower quartile number, it's just going to be 80 divided by 4, which is 20. And to work out the upper quartile represents 3 quarters. Okay? So 3 quarters is just going to be the lower quartile times 3, which is just going to be 60. Now let's work out the lower and the upper quartile. The lower quartile, you can see, is here. And it drops down at, I want to say, 130... I'm going to go with 133 centimeters. But I think for graphs like this, you would get a margin of error. The upper quartile is 60, so let's go to 60. And we can see that the height at the upper quartile is going to be, let's drop down, 154, I want to say. Again, you're going to get a little bit of a margin of error. Just don't be completely wrong when you read the graph. The interquartile range is just going to be lower quartile minus upper quartile, or rather the other way around, but it's just the difference between the two. 154 minus 133, that's just going to be equal to 21 centimeters. And those are the correct answers. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Did you like my tutoring style? Well, you can get tutored by me. Drop me an email and we can organize a free meeting and a quote. Keep on learning as you have no idea what you're capable of doing.